Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you some efficient loot rooms. Now these are some of my favorite loot rooms that I like to use in my base designs because they utilize the maximum amount of space to get the maximum amount of boxes. Obviously these aren't the best in the game, these are just ones that I like to use, and I think that you should copy or use some of these in your base designs. Starting out, we have a TC loot room, which utilizes a square 1x1 and allows you to fit 4 large boxes and 2 small boxes. This is really good because you don't actually need the shelf BP. There's an altered version where you pretty much put a shelf and then you can fit a similar amount of boxes. But yeah, this one just allows you to fit with the triangle, and it allows you to access all 4 boxes whilst being able to access the TC and code lock. This next one is a square loot room, which allows you to fit 6 large boxes. It uses a half floor as a shelf, and then you can put 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. Now, it's not necessarily as good as having small boxes because the small boxes allow you to have more space. However, it is handy because big boxes are a lot easier to sort and keep organized as opposed to having to keep switching out of the little boxes. Now this next loot room is exactly the same, except rather than having a large box in the top and the bottom, it has 3 small boxes on the top and the bottom. Now this is better because it adds up to a total of an extra 12 slots, and this is really a trade-off of whether or not you want to be swapping in and out of the small boxes and getting the extra 12 slots, or if you prefer to just have the large box because it's easier to use. And if you want to be extremely efficient, rather than having 3 small boxes on the bottom, you can actually fit 4 small boxes on the bottom. And the only benefit to this is that you can have an extra small box, though the disadvantage is you can't do it on the top because it blocks your vision from the upper large boxes. So that's something to consider. This next loot room is a prime example of how to use the salvage shelf. So the way that this works is you put the shelf in the back and then you can fit 4 large boxes and 4 small boxes. Though the reason I highly don't recommend this one is because you can't do an unlootable. However, if you don't want an unlootable, then it's a really good option. Now, the reason you can't do an unlootable is because if raiders do somehow get TC, then all they have to do is destroy your boxes and place down a bag inside there. Whereas if you go back to this previous example, they can't put down a bag here even if they destroy your glass window because there's a half floor and then there's the ceiling. They can't put down a sleeping bag if there's only half of a block to stand up on. You need to have a full height to be able to put down a sleeping bag. This next one is an altered version of the half floor and ceiling loot room. It's pretty much the exact same except you've put down a triangle. It allows you to fit one extra box in the middle and then you can fit some on the side, although I don't recommend it because you miss out on a bit of extra space. But hey, it's different and it's another loot room. This next loot room is of course a good utilization of the 2 triangles. If you're building a honeycombed base, often you'll find yourself having 2 triangles on the outer loot rooms, and this is a really good way to create dump boxes as it allows you to put 4 large boxes. You can try and fit down a smaller box, but the only problem with this is it'll stop you from having an unlootable, and you'll have to do a garage door if you want to have that small box there. Next up is one for those who like big open loot rooms. So this is really good use of 3 triangles and allows you to fit 6 large boxes and 1 small one tucked away on the side if you prefer. Next up we have a loot room which allows you to put large boxes on an actual triangle floor. Usually you can't fit a large box in a triangle area, however this allows you to put it so it's just clipping outside of the garage doors. So if raiders destroy your boxes and they have code locks on them, the stash will actually fall on the other side of the garage door, meaning that raiders will have to go through the garage door anyway. Next up is an extremely efficient use of the furnaces. This allows you to put 3 furnaces in a triangle area and you can block it off with a window frame. This is 2 C4 to get in, which is highly unlikely that raiders will do so just to get your furnace loot. If you've just got metal in there, then I'm sure that raiders won't go through here. And this allows you to use psychology to actually hide some really good loot in there, because who's going to waste 2 C4 just to get a few metal frags? Hence why I actually recommend that you hide your good stuff in the furnaces before you log off. Finally, I just wanted to show you how to seal off your loot room. So obviously there's the garage door, then there's the unlootable with the glass window frame. Now the glass window frames are not necessary, except raiders can despawn your loot by spear raiding your boxes even if they can't get to them. So I highly recommend that you put that on. And then of course there's the low walls, so make sure you got your code lock boxes and then you have your low wall there. Make sure to upgrade that to sheet metal, otherwise raiders can obviously just spear raid out your loot room and then just jump right in. Remember, you can actually use double low wall combo by just crafting yourself a campfire like I taught you in my previous video, and then you can just glitch yourself a little bit above the campfire and you'll be able to access the boxes that have code locks on them. Now remember that the unlootable does not work for all of these loot room designs, but remember if you have the glass window BP, even if it's not an unlootable, it still costs 2 C4, which is the same as an armored door. So unlootables are always the way to go, unless of course you have the last loot room, which is the triangle, and then of course you need a garage door because it clips through the garage door. Now building all these loot rooms are pretty self-explanatory, however if you have any issues, here's a little building montage to help you. And just before I cue cue the MLG Minecraft music, please make sure to leave a like and comment on what you want to see next, because I've got lots more building tips that I can show you, but I'm just not sure what you guys want to see, so let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.